Hi everybody, it is Tina, and I've changed my name a few times, as you'll have noticed. I can't work out what I want to call my channel, but you know it'll work out eventually. But this video, Brittbratt asked us to do the naked truth, and so this is my naked truth, and I'm going to try and make it as short as I can because you know I don't want you all to get bored and stuff like that, but here it goes, I guess. I didn't lead a bad childhood. I really didn't. Well, my parents, my family were amazing. They were all older than me. There was an 8-year difference between me and my big brother. He was meant to be the last child, but then I decided to make my way into the world. And then I had a little brother, and I have 3 older sisters. Now, you know, as a child, I guess I was a very normal-sized child. Wow, I keep looking up. I can't look up because of these damn glasses, so you'll have to excuse me. Where was I? Yeah, I was a normal-sized child until something happened in my youth that made me start eating. And I know that this is why I ended up the way I was, because I was very normal size, normal looking child, you know, the whole cute little pigtails and the little tartan skirts and stuff like that our mothers used to put on us back when I was a youth, because I'm 48. But when I was about 6, 7, I was sexually abused, and I couldn't tell anybody because I was too scared to tell anybody. I was afraid that they would think that it was my fault. So it kept happening, and it wasn't pleasant at all. It was not nice at all. And the worst part is it was by somebody who I was very, very close to. Well, at least I thought I was. And I'm not going to speak ill of him now because he has passed away. And that really struck home when he did. But for many years, I can't say as how in my heart I felt the love for him that I should have. And that wasn't an easy thing to take care of either. Growing up in primary school, it was very difficult, being teased and taunted and called every name under the sun, because I was overweight. I was a chubby child, a chubby girl. I grew up to be a chubby adolescent, and I grew up to be an overweight adult. And it's not an easy thing to deal with. You know, people will show you attention for all the wrong reasons. When I was 13, I had larger breasts, so naturally I was getting attention from all the wrong sort of people. And yeah, it wasn't, I can't say how it was the most pleasant experiences and stuff that I put it into a very dark part in my brain, and I left it there, and I tried not to think about it so that it didn't affect my life. I can't say as how I led a perfect adult life. There were things that I did that I never imagined that I would do. I settled for what I thought that I deserved in life, which was my ex-husband. And in my eyes now, the only good thing I got out of that was a very good lesson learnt and 5 beautiful children. I'm a mother of 5 myself. I have 4 sons and 1 little girl, and I tried to bring them up the best that I could, and essentially I was like a single parent, but he was always there, and he was always having his nana naps and stuff like that while I was busy taking care of the children and giving birth to the children, and while he was at home sleeping around with my neighbour's sister and stuff like that. Really disgusting crap, but it's, I guess it's a part of life. I suppose we all have these moments in our life where it's not easy at all. And in amongst all of that, you know, still, when I was 16, my mother was diagnosed with cancer. She used to bake herself in the sun. She used to use coconut oil, and she had the most beautiful skin, and it was never dry or leathery or anything, but it was very brown. And from that she got cancer, and 2 years later she passed away. So when I was 18, just after I turned 18, I lost my mother, and it broke me. It broke me, but I couldn't show that it did because my dad was so brokenhearted that I didn't ever want him to see how much it hurt me, because I knew how much it hurt him. And I was always concerned that whenever he looked at me, he saw my mother, which apparently I look a lot alike. My father dealt with it as well as I thought that he possibly could. He was a wonderful person, and he softened up quite a lot. He went from being the strong father figure to being just like a big soft cuddly teddy bear, and we got a lot closer, which we never really were, because back in the days it was like mum brought us kids up, my father went out and worked, brought home the money so that they could feed us, clothe us, have a house, all of that sort of stuff. Can I have a drink? Excuse me. Cold. No, can't do that anymore. Okay, so my mother passed away when she had only just turned 50, and I was just turned 18. We celebrated it together. And after that, or in amongst that, I'd actually met somebody, and he was really special, and he was gorgeous, he was handsome, he was sweet, he was kind, but he just wasn't the right person for me. Unfortunately, he enjoyed being in a jail cell, so that ended, but he was always in my life for quite a while, and I loved him. I was in love with him. Every time I saw him, I would get that fluttery feeling inside, and just know. But then I I met my ex-husband, and he, at the time, he was pleasant, he was nice, he was all I thought that I deserved, and so I took it, and that was a bad move on my behalf, but it's part of my life, so. I can't say as how we ever lived a really happy life, ever. He had 2 children when I met him. They were just a bit, you know, off with me. Now, his daughter calls me Mama, and she talks to me, she doesn't talk to him. And she treats me like her real mother, and I adore her too. She's my oldest stepchild. I have 2 of those as well. I have a stepdaughter and I have a stepson. I also have a stepson from him, but he never really talked to me, and he doesn't talk and has never talked, so. My firstborn son, he, when I was pregnant with the twins, he got very sick and had to be rushed to the hospital, and he couldn't walk. His legs hurt, everything hurt. And from that they deduced, as they did a lot of testing on him, that he had hardening arteries at the age of not quite 5. I was pregnant with twins at the time, because I had a set of twins. They were the last pregnancy, the one that was never meant to happen, but it did. And I thought, well, you know, I guess God meant for me to have them. So it was, you know, in and out of hospital for me, in and out of hospital for him, the stress of him getting sick and the stress of the babies, and it was not an easy task. You know, my son had extremely high blood pressure and stuff like that. They had to organise for him to have surgery, and then I gave birth to the twins, and my dad, he was just so proud of them. I actually put my father's name in one of my son's names, and I wanted to take a picture of them with my dad, but he was ironing at the time, and he said, no, I'm just in my ironing stuff. And so I didn't end up taking that picture, and as it turns out, a month later my father had a massive heart attack and passed away too. That in itself, that really hurt, because I lost both of my parents. And losing my dad after becoming really close to him, the night before he passed away, he called me and we sat and chatted on the phone for an hour, which was unlike my dad. He would not sit and talk to somebody for that long, but he'd been unwell. He had the flu, and the doctors put him on triple-strength antibiotics. And I don't know what it was, but the night before my father passed away, and we were talking on the phone and we said goodbye, something in my head told him that you need to tell him that you love him. And I didn't. I know that he knew that I did, but my biggest regret in life is not telling him with my own voice that I loved him, because the next day he had a heart attack and he passed away. And I have constantly struggled with the fact that I know that he knew I loved him, but I didn't tell him that the night before, and I should have, when my brain said to me, you should tell him that you love him. And I didn't do it. So, very big regret there. I loved my father and I loved my mother very much, but 10 years after my mother died, my father died. And he was just about to turn 60. So they died very young. I think about them all the time. We go and we repaint their stone, the lettering in their headstone and stuff. Sorry, didn't mean to get too emotional there, but it's a very emotional thing to lose that. And about 3 years ago, I was on the Gold Coast with the Sunshine Coast with my kids. We went for a swim and enjoying our day. When we left there and we were starting to drive home, my phone rang, and it was my husband, and he told my daughter to tell me to pull over. So we pulled over. And he proceeded to tell me that my oldest brother...
You've got mail, baby.
And they said, damn fine. My oldest brother had passed away from a heart attack. It hurt. It did hurt to know that he had passed away. But he was the one who molested me as a child, and unfortunately I could never forgive him for what he did. I hated the fact that I had just lost yet another family member. I hated the fact that he died. But I felt more for his wife and his daughters, because they'd already lost so much. They'd lost their twin sons, one at birth and one 15 years later from cancer. There's been a lot of losses happening in our family, quite obviously, but and amongst all that, there's always been a lot of love. And I love my sisters. They're all older than me, and I try my best to make them smile and make them laugh and make them be really proud of me for what I'm doing with my life now, because when I 4 years ago was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, something I never thought that would happen to me, but actually did happen to me, and I was like, wow, what did I do to anyone to deserve this in my life? What did I do? But you know what? It was given to me for a reason, because as much as I'm not a religious person, I believe that God gave me that because he knew I had the strength to cope with it. And I do. I take my tablets every single day, and now I exercise a whole lot more than I ever did. At that time I had lost 30 kilos when I was diagnosed, and I couldn't walk, and I had been walking every single day, several kilometres each day, and I'd lost all that weight, and it stopped. It hit a wall straight off the bat. Okay, I've taken them safely. That's my tablet alarm. But I don't want anyone's pity. I don't want people to drive the pity train on multiple sclerosis, because you know what? I fight it. No one else does. I do. And I woke up this morning and the entire right side of my face was numb. But you know what? I don't let it pull me down. And let it make me rise up and meet the day every single day. I'm so grateful every time I open my eyes and I wake up in the morning. I'm alive, and essentially I'm as healthy as I can be. I've had my surgery. I'm losing the weight. I'm the smallest I have been in 24 years. So I'm happy. And my life now, my ex-husband did some pretty badass things. For 10 years he verbally abused me, mentally abused me, and in some cases physically abused me. But now I have my beautiful husband, and he is my rock, he's my heart, he's my soul, he's absolutely everything to me. And I have my children, and I have my family, and I have you all, which are my sleep family, and I am really, really extremely grateful for every little bit of support that's given to me. I made my YouTube channel so that I could look back and see the changes and see everybody else's changes and be happy and proud of everybody. And I'm so, so proud of you, Brittbratt. You've gone through one hell of a life, sweetheart, and you've come out the other side, and you're beautiful. So you're a strong ass lady soon. But anyway, I'm not going to let this go. This is just way too long, but that's my naked truth. And I hope you all give it a shot. Give us something. But I'm going to let you all go, and you all have a wonderful weekend. Take care, and happy 4th of July to all my American friends. Bye, guys.